Having lived in that city for a number of years, I know it very well. Tough town. And people get angry about injustice like a cowardly terror attack. So we sent Jesse Waters to Boston to talk with the folks.
Emotionally, how do you feel about the bombings?
I feel really unsettled. I think you hear that it can happen anywhere but here from everybody else, and you feel like, oh, well, I'm not going to feel that way when it happens here.
I was pretty devastated. You know, a good family event, and you know, something tragic like that happens.
It's going to ruin the Boston Marathon forever. It's sick.
How do you process the events of yesterday?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out ever since.
I didn't think we were this soft. If I had thought of anything, I would never think of it to happen where it happened.
We had tons of protection out there, but anything can slip through.
Something I do think we have to keep in mind is that the terror and the heartbreak and the confusion that we all feel is what's happening in Afghanistan every week, every day.
I thought they were like doing some demonstration, and that's like what the other runners thought too. And there you saw this huge poof, like cloud of smoke.
And boom, another explosion. So we stayed in Boston till about 10 o'clock last night, and then a friend of ours was able to get our car and drove us out. Now we're trying to get back to our hotel, but we can't.
Are you angry about what happened?
I regard it more as a hazard of life these days.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Are you angry about what happened?
I'm angry about it. I'm angry about it.
Things like this are just going to continue happening, and most likely going to be continuously manipulated to remove us of our civil liberties.
The president said it was a tragedy. He didn't use the word terror. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. In this day and age, after New York City and what we're seeing around the country and the world, you just have to be extremely careful.
He misspoke. This was a terror attack. Ask the parents of the 8-year-old and the girl that had her leg amputated. Ask them.
It's a loaded word. I don't really know how to answer that.
I didn't really think of who it would have been right away, but after that shooting in Connecticut, you don't really know whether to think it's like Muslim terrorism or if it's just a sick person or people.
Safety is the most important thing, and picking the bad guy, not so much.
This day and age, you can't ever guess on who it could be. It could be, somebody off the street.
What do you think should happen to the perpetrator when we catch him?
Crucify him!
We have criminal laws in this country for a reason.
Can you leave him in a room with me and 4 of my friends for a little while? Or leave him with some of the people that lost their lives and lost their limbs?
Hang him upside down and just let people beat him to death.
Joining us now from Boston is Jesse Waters. Subdued, I think, is the word, right? In Boston today, it's
correct. Yes.
There's a growing anger. You could see it in some of the people you interviewed, and then there's, of course, the ideological zealots like the one kid with the dreadlocks. But overall, the folks are still trying to figure out, how to react, right?
Right. It's complicated because 9/11, you immediately knew it was bin Laden and al-Qaeda, so you could get vengeance right away, and people were bloodthirsty. Here, they haven't identified not even a suspect, so you don't really know who to punch back at. At first, it was a Saudi Arabian national. Then people say, it could have been a white male shooter,
it's one or the other.
Cases.
It's either domestic terrorists who could be aligned with any fringe crazy group, or it's a foreign hit on the United States, but both are active wars, as we talked about with Charles Krauthammer. Fox News,
some of these people in Cambridge, though, don't think it's an active war.
Okay,
they see it more as a criminal act, and they want to give the guy a lawyer, and they want to put him on trial and afford him constitutional rights.
Well, he will. He'll have a lawyer and constitutional rights because the crime was committed on U.S. soil. There's no doubt about that. And they're not wrong in Cambridge. But, look, the fringe is the fringe. Boston, a liberal town, obviously Fox News is enormous there. I was just there on Sunday. I mean, everybody watches Fox, even if they're liberal. How were you treated when you went up and asked these very sensitive questions? Anybody get angry with you?
No one got angry with me. This was the first time I was actually in Cambridge, and I wasn't verbally abused or anything like that. I think people are putting the partisanship aside. You know, no one's getting into this Obama this, Obama that, maybe Bush was right, Bush started the war on terror. I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
So I think if I was assaulted, there's so many police officers around here, they would have come right to my rescue.
Yeah. No, it's more of a verbal thing, you know, Boston. All right, Waters, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Factor tip of the day.